I previously worked for Teleshore, investment holdings. They own a bunch of insurance companies in their portfolio. So your First for Women, Budget Insurance, Style Direct, you name it,
So
One
with
Life.
the big boys, guy.
Yeah. So I mean, and really, man, it's something that I never take opportunities for granted,
Welcome to the Millennials Corner, where most of us are lost in the trends.
If the future generations are going to remember us with more gratitude than sorrow, then we need to create more than just a miracle with technology. We need to document the world as we are creating it more than just as we are living through it. And that is exactly what TMC Podcast aims to do. TMC is the Millennial Founded Podcast where we talk about technology, creativity, and everything in between. My name is Guy Luyanda. Welcome. To tell us more about the strategy of digital products, put your hands together and give a warm welcome to a Melpa Business School graduate and Umuzi alumni. So Fetch, I have to tell you that we're in for a treat with this one, because this guy has contributed to some of the most innovative digital transformation spaces and has also been recognized at the 2021 BCX Digital Innovative Awards. He is Black, born and bred in the Republic of Mzansi. Lems Makabanyane. Dude.
What an introduction, bro.
It's been a long time coming, man.
I know, man. And I feel like it's such a wonderful blessing that we are having this conversation into just a new season, new season of life. And I feel like it's a clean slate.
Yeah, let's just get cracking though. Without any further ado, actually, I just wanted to start by picking your brain.
Yeah.
And I hope this is not putting you very much on the spot.
No,
Let's
man.
take on a riddle and see how you do on this one.
Ooh, a riddle? Okay, cool. Okay, I'm game. Yo, that's a weird question. You have to drop an egg on concrete, but it doesn't break.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a cheat code, but it's such a weird cheat code. I think the fundamental would be the distance between the concrete and the egg. So,
Okay, let's say you are standing up straight and then you're dropping it to the floor. And the floor is, in this case, your concrete platform.
okay, that is a very... Does that even qualify as a controlled environment whereby I can't alter any of the...
Gravity is...
It's there, yeah, at a constant. So I don't think... I don't think, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think there is a way. Look, I think luck is what we use when we very often can't explain the variables that are at play.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't think luck would actually even help me. Not even my grandmother's witchcraft could actually help me, bro.
Underground, is there anyone who probably has a solution to this? So the riddle is, you're standing up straight.
Yeah.
Is there a way you can drop an egg on a concrete ground such that it doesn't crack?
I'm saying no.
Actually, it's so simple. You know why? Because concrete floors don't crack. And I mean, they can't get cracked from just an egg.
Oh shit, I heard you differently. So
Now you heard what you thought.
I thought you were saying, yeah. So which is actually fascinating. Our senses, bro, are so flawed. It scares me sometimes. If I just miss that right now, how many things in my life, in real life, do I actually miss just listening to other people? So in relationships and workspaces, yeah, I think the lesson from this, guys, is pay attention and try to listen as deeply as you possibly can. Yeah. I think so, yeah.
So yeah, that's that. So you can actually drop an egg onto a concrete floor such that
Except the floor is not gonna break, but the egg is gonna break.
One has to give. So yeah, I mean, the reason why you're here with us today, dude, is so that we can talk about what you do
Okay.
as a profession. and that is the strategy of digital products.
I love that.
So if, just to begin this whole session, you were to tell us what your job, your day-to-day actually entails for, in layman terms, for somebody who does not even have a clue what the fuck that is.
I love this question, but I have a love-hate, because it's also, I'll be sitting at a bar, somebody's like, what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, are you 2 more rounds, then you and I can sort of start getting into it. But if I had to simplify it, right, I sit in between business at a high level. So this is where the strategy comes from. And whatever else they need to transform or build digitally, I'm the guy to tactically execute that with a very cross-functional team. So I work with engineering, I work with design, and design within itself has UX, it has UI, it has research. You have system analysts, business analysts, and we have quality assurance engineers. So we just fundamentally come together to understand what the business problem is, and then we solution for it, and then we go, okay, cool, let's go now to the team and then design for it, analyze for it, and then we can now engineer for it. And then once it's done, we just hand it over to QA. They can check if they're happy with what we've built. Does it actually meet the business needs, and also of course the customers that we serve. So to simplify it, bro, I'm like a coach in a football club.
Yeah,
I think that's the best way to put it to people.
Okay,
yeah.
So I think maybe just based on how you just explained what you do, it also plays a lot in how can we simplify this product that we have so that the
definitely
user can use it seamlessly.
I love that you actually said that. I feel like that's the core piece to my job.
Yeah.
How might we make this thing as simple as possible? Because also, man, we live in a time where people's attention span is so thinly stretched out. You only have a few seconds of someone's time.
Yeah.
So how might somebody possibly just get to do this transaction, get it done, that's it, and then they can move along swiftly, And you also try to you don't want to have a user who is cognitively just overloaded with stuff. So yeah, man, that's what we basically do, just trying to make the world a better place, one workflow at a time, I usually say to my team. Yeah, sure.
So let's talk about the industry. So do you work across all industries, or which would you point out as the most prominent industries where the strategy of product development would play a very, very huge role?
Oh man, I feel like you are really asking me. I've been waiting for these questions, man. So look, man, I think what I do in my world in digital can definitely be applied across multiple industries. I was talking to another friend of mine about how even when you're a musician, you are developing a product. You are a product owner. But now your engineer and your road manager and your driver and your PR guy, that's your product team. So it's far beyond getting in the studio and just recording a song and going, oh, here I'm gonna blow up. Now you need to think of the overarching strategy. How do we get this thing rolling? How do we get it to radio? How do we get it to streaming platforms? So it's what I do, what I like about it, it's transferable to so many things in life. When you wanna build something for the better of it, you always need to collaborate with other humans. And I think that's how actually even humans were designed.
Yeah.
We are social beings. You can't build shit on your own.
You can build shit on your own.
You can't, yeah.
Yeah, Doug. And speaking about building, I think this also brings me to, the projects that you've kind of worked on. Obviously, there's those that when you look back and you're like, did I really work on that? I hate it. I wish it wasn't on my portfolio. We even go to an extent of not adding them to our portfolio. Right? And on the same breath, there's those projects that we're like, fuck, dog, this is actually a reflection of who I want to be known as in the industry. Mm-hmm. Or, even after I've passed, this is what I want to be known for having done. So with that being said, which projects would you say are those ones that you want to be remembered for, you're most proud to have worked on?
Yeah, man, there's a bunch, man, because I was doing my work at an enterprise level, meaning that, so the business that I previously worked for. They are basically like a house of brands. So I got the opportunity to really touch different brands that had different value propositions. But I think ultimately my favorite project to have worked on was when we were automating the vehicle accident damage claim type. Before I joined the business, they had put together like a group of subject matter experts to try and build for that flow.
Do you mind mentioning the business?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I previously worked for Telesure, investment holdings. They own a bunch of insurance companies in their portfolio. So your First for Women, Budget Insurance, Style Direct, you name it,
Yeah. So
One
I'm
Life.
with the big boys, guy.
Yeah. So I mean, and really, man, it's something that I never take opportunities for granted, right? Yeah. So when we came together to build that flow, they had previously put together a team of subject matter experts to try and automate that claim type. When somebody is in a vehicle accident and the car is still drivable, can they claim for it on a digital, platform? It took those guys about 4 years, and they built out an MVP, basically, which is not a bad thing. But when I came into the business, it took
an MVP, Bafetch, it means a minimum of
viable product. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, if I'm using
a simplified
version of your idea. Yeah, and I mean the value of that is that you don't have to go to market with a perfect thing. Just figure out the little. I think it's bait. I think I would call it bait. Little. And once it catches you, you're like, oh, it does actually work, then you can put it out there, So I was fortunate that when this team was put together, they built out an MVP. But it took them 4 years, bro. I came in with the team. We spent about a year automating that entire flow. That includes integrations across different systems, designing for that entire flow on the front end, and of course, doing the whole back end. So when we were launching that piece, bro, it took so much from me and the team that on the night that we were launching it, we were testing from 9 in the evening. We only got it right at 4 in the morning.
Shit.
And
so you stayed up
the whole night with the team. No one was, and I'm working with people that are in different places. Part of the team is in Cape Town. Part of it is in Bangalore, India. They're 3.5 hours ahead of us. So those dudes are dying out there. You know what I'm saying? But
and you still have people in our generation who will come and say, close that laptop.
Yeah. When
we're working overtime.
I think it's a if you understand what you're destined to do, bro, it goes far beyond just a job. I'm worried ever in my life if I ever just have a job. That's the weirdest thing ever in the world. I'm always even if I was a guy mopping floors at ShopRite, I'll be the best mop of the floors. There's no one who's going to touch me with mopping those floors. So I think when you have a purpose and you want to serve it, it becomes far beyond just it being about you and your ego. People have such fragile egos, especially in this country where people have entitlement. So those guys stayed up, and my thing is to work with within a very diverse team also teaches you humility. Everybody is not the same. Some people are shy, some people are quiet, but my thing is I always aim to get the best out of everybody. And once that went live, dog, I just felt there's no one that can stop me.
Yeah.
No, literally, bro, Tesla, Viacom, cut me a check, bro. I'm yours. Cut me a check, yeah.
Shit, bro, that's really, really dope. And it kind of gets you to realize that that the opportunities are kind of limitless, and how far you can go if you really dedicated and love what you're doing. It's totally up to you and about, because opportunities are out there. So speaking of opportunities, there's somewhere where this whole thing started.
Of course,
there was an opportunity that was presented to you, and then you grabbed it with both hands.
Yes, sir.
Ran with it.
Yes, sir.
How did it begin?
Man, it's such a beautiful story. I'm gonna keep it short because it's very lengthy. But I mean, I have a background in banking, and then I was more on the operational, operations side of things, customer, facing. And then I transitioned into long-term insurance over the course of time, being a consultant and becoming a manager eventually. But I think when I became a manager, I felt I just had hit the ceiling because my trajectory happened so quickly because I was so good at what I was doing, unquestionably so. Then I was like, I don't want to, selling is easy, bro. People always go like, I hate sales. And I'm like, easiest thing in the world for me, champ. But then when I was there, I was like, okay, I'm tired of just selling this product. I want to have a say in how either it's designed or how it's basically delivered to the user.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then from there on, I mean, literally, bro, I just had that idea. I had no actual plan sketched out. Sometimes just dream wild, bro, and then you'll figure it out as like you go. It's like trying to go from one city to like another. Sometimes all you gotta do is just catch that ride. Don't have to figure out who you're gonna know. Just catch that ride. You will figure out, you know, the like rest as and when you actually go. So I think once then I became a manager, I got headhunted by a different company, but to more or less fall into the same role. And I was like, I don't know. So I took a bit of a sabbatical. Then I was in Cape Town, and I had a friend of mine who was like, yo man, you are pretty solid in strategy and like business. I just found out about like, you know, Umuzi. So I think you might want to try like this thing. And the funny thing at that time, though, like music was also a very big interest. So we had a band, we were, well, signed to our own label and really trying to figure out the like scheme of things. So we were like, okay, Joburg is pretty much like a very fertile ground. Let's all move there. You can try out like Umuzi while you are also still doing the like music thing. And it really clicked. It was like, it felt like just everything clicking and falling into place. Of course, it wasn't perfect.
So clicking at Umuzi, how did Umuzi make that kind of like transition easy for you? Like what was the happenings in there?
Man, what I really enjoyed, I think, about like Umuzi was there was already like a track planned out for me to become a strategist. Like now on like paper, we can say, hey, this guy is legit. And then we also had a very supportive, you know, like management.
Yeah.
I mean, like Glendelani was like a star, dude. Like for me to have a manager like him, I was like, my colleagues are no longer just people that I work with, they're my family. So therefore, I don't just look out for my own interests, I also look out for their interests. So Umuzi really gave me the technical training and the like frameworks to basically see how I can become a solution designer, if you want to put it like that, because I think ultimately everybody should look at themselves as a solution designer. Whether you're a cop or like a soldier or a scientist, yours is just to engineer like solutions, because life is riddled with like challenges. So Umuzi really gave me the like framework and the tools to be able to just jump into that and then be able to like take those skills, not only, you know, practice them within Umuzi, but to also go into an actual business, bro, and have somebody say, I trust you with my systems and my budget, go do what you need to do for us.
Yeah.
So Umuzi gave me that, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's sweet, dog. Shout out to Umuzi. I mean, dog, if there's one thing that I've never doubted about you since I've known you, was like your passion for what you do, dog. You know, whatever it is, whether it was in music, your past jobs, you know, what you're currently doing, and you know, looking forward to what the future kind of like held for you. I know that you were always so passionate and confident and super enthusiastic.
Thank you so much, man.
And there's a danger also in that, because if you find yourself in wrong groups, people might mistake that for arrogance. So have you been in situations where shit, this dude is so fucking arrogant, where you're just for loving who you are and what you do?
You know why I'm laughing? I feel like this is such a necessary question, because I haven't had like an encounter where out of the blue someone walked up to me and said, you arrogant piece of, you know, whatever. Yeah. But I've had conversations where somebody gets to know me and they're like, actually, I thought you were, you know, a prick. I thought you were like an arrogant guy. And I want to say, man, like even like recently I was like, man, you know, I think I'm the villain, you know, I'm the bad guy.
The drama.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? But like on a more serious note, my level of self-awareness is something I had to work on.
Yeah.
I just didn't fall off of a tree and I just knew who I was. But I've always known though from a young age that I was cut from a different cloth. And I'm not going to negotiate with anybody socially just so you can feel comfortable in your own skin. I will not do that. I'm sorry. So I've always just been, how do I get this engine running, but to run at the most, it's optimal like levels, is to engage with yourself, be like yourself, sit within yourself, and be able to know who you are as a person. A lot of people, man, they don't really know who they are. And I know that sounds very like cliche, like some self-help book type of thing, but your level of awareness and consciousness should always resonate from within. Yeah. Where am I from? Who am I? Why am I here? And as soon as like you find like your why, it doesn't have to be everybody else's why. That's why other people, even when I was in high school, it was like, my man, you are overdoing this. You are too passionate. Why are you going to science expos? Hey, bro, my brain works, so I'm gonna use it. Yeah. And I always say, man, if you're fortunate enough that you establish that your brain works, goddamn, use it, bro, because the number of people that are just brain dead and walking around here scares the living shit out of me, bro. So it scares me. It scares me.
Legit poignant, and I resonate with it on so many levels, because like self-awareness is so much important if you're going to find your place in this world.
Yeah.
Right. And I think like a human brain is more like an engine.
Yes.
You've got engines that operate on petrol, you've got others that actually operate on diesel.
Some hybrid even.
What would happen if you put petrol in a diesel engine? You know what I mean? And I think I feel like we live in that society where we have a lot of engines that operate on petrol, but they're trying so hard to put in diesel, you know what I mean? And I think that's where the most damage happens, and that's where you find yourself now 10 years later, you're like, shit, did I really want to be in this space? Is this
I did not.
I was even destined to be doing, you know what I mean? And I really appreciate you bringing those poignant points. I want to understand exactly that as somebody who's in the digital space and the development of digital products, how do you think digital or the internet in general is shaping the world today?
Man, it's so fascinating to see how the world is evolving with like technology. I mean, if you look at what Elon and SpaceX and Neuralink and them are like doing, that's basically them redefining space travel and exploration. That's them with Neuralink now trying to figure out how to merge, biological intelligence with like digital intelligence, which is something that we've always aspired for. And then we also became very cynical like about it. Like, oh my God, what if like these robots run the world? And I'm like, but computers mimic human beings, bro. Like there is no computer without a human being. So like I'm least, concerned about that. So, but what I think it's doing though is it's really helping humanity evolve in terms of like knowledge and research, because how we lived 50 years ago is not how we are living now. Like, bro, 50 years ago, I don't know how long you would have to wait to find out something happened in New York.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a tweet away, bro. It's a hashtag away. It happens now, we find out now. You pass away now, we all find out now. And also what I find fascinating is that we are digitally now connecting humans. If you think about platforms like social media and everything else, it's the first time where human brains are almost like existing or coexisting in this like network.
Yeah.
Which is both beautiful and scary as shit.
Machines are super necessary, because
Yeah.
the purpose of a machine is to remind a human of a point that they might miss. If you remember when we started this session, we played a riddle, and then you missed the slightest point. But if you think about it, and the reason you missed it is not because you're dumb.
Of course, yeah.
Your brain is actually thinking about a whole lot of things and trying to create scenarios out of situations, and your eyes are actually exposed to a lot of things. So your brain is working overtime. But with machines that are created to focus on specific tasks at specific times,
they're diligent.
Then, you know what I mean?
Getting it done.
That way we are creating a world that's more efficient. And well, mistakes, we can't avoid them, because even a machine can make a mistake.
Potentially,
but
yeah.
With the machine, we are actually trying to remind human beings of the points that they can miss. And that way, the society is a better place. So I think machines complementing human beings.
It's a beautiful thing, bro. It's such I love like what you're saying. I was watching, I think it's Gary Kasparov, like the guy who was a chess champion for like 20 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's doing some AI stuff or just fiddling around like that particular space. And he said something about like, I think it's called the Moroclef's paradox. So machines are good at the things that human beings are not necessarily good at, but humans are also good at the things that machines are not necessarily good at. It's a beautiful dance, bro. It's like we need this relationship. And also, man, I would like to just urge people to stop being cynical, bro. Like, guys, like, stop being cynical and do more research and do a lot more. Just listen to the top 1% of the world, man. And information like nowadays is everywhere. You can learn from some of the like top thinkers, and you can also figure out how the world works, and then you become less cynical, and then you find more fun and joy in what we are able to achieve and what we are still failing at.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sweet, man. So since Narubuaga technology, what do you think is like, although it's evolving and that is great, but what is the current state of South African digital in contrast to the world? To
the rest of the world. I think South Africa is in a good place, minus the fact that you have a government that doesn't enable its people. And when I mean enable people, I'm not saying give us like 350s. I'm saying build the infrastructure that we can build on top of. Be what like China does. If I'm gonna build self-driving cars, China as a government is going to see, okay, cool, how can we actually develop roads that will marry what this person is actually like building for? So I think we have some of the world's coolest technologies, but like our banking systems are like some of the world's finest. We move money better than some people in different parts of the world that you would assume are more advanced than we actually do. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think we just need that support from an infrastructural like point of view. Private sector is trying, but then again, it's just an issue of like government. So I think, yeah, if private sector can just maybe focus on really trying to like bridge the like gaps and bring in more technology in to redefine education, to redefine healthcare, like the stuff that we like care about, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think we are in a good place. We can definitely be better. We also need to have a population of thinkers and people that are curious. And I know someone's gonna look at this and argue and say, but not everybody's an intellectual. But I'm like, dog, you have a brain. At least, man. Like, at least, bro.
The boy who harnessed the wind was not an intellectual. He was just a thinker.
He was just a thinker, yeah. So I'm saying move the like furniture in your head. Whether you are watching podcasts on YouTube and listening to people like Lex Friedman and yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can actually grow. And bro, when I think about it, bro, like when I was young, like we had floppy disks and DVDs and all the other weird, none of that exists today. And you know what that tells me? Possibility, bro. Possibility, my man. Like, it's weird, bro. I have CDs here. Like, I think you saw some of my like music. Yeah, I was like, we used to listen to music on CDs, bro. It's damn near impossible to believe that right now, at a click of a button, I have access to almost the entire world's catalog of music. Think about that.
Let's talk about the next step in your career. Like, where is the Moham going?
That is a wonderful question. I'm actually now busy relocating to another city, Cape Town. So I got offered like a very amazing opportunity there. So at this stage of my life, right?
I want to say you deserve it, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I mean, I work. I always tell people, I'm like, I work my socks off.
Yeah.
Don't you be telling me that I'm privileged. I work my socks off, bro. So my next move is I want to grow into obviously like a very senior role. And I mean, I don't mean that just with like junior, this senior, that I mean that my journey at like Teleshow taught me like some very crucial fundamental things about business. But now I want to sit very near the decision makers, and the business that I'm joining is a fairly large business, but I'm joining the like digital venture of like that business, which has its own exco. So therefore, like I'll be sitting damn near the guys who basically cut the like check. And I want to understand these different business models so that at a later stage in my life, I can become a consultant. And then, I can travel across the world, but predominantly on the African continent is where I want to work as a consultant. And it will be definitely across different industries, agriculture, finance, it doesn't matter. So for now, I'm at that part of my life where I was learning the really deep fundamentals, but now I want to go to the level whereby now it's the high level shits where the money gets cut and you're sitting around some influential business people. Digital landscape of Africa. That's always been my thing. I don't care who says what. I'm going to redefine the landscape of this continent. Digital.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that, and I've got no doubt that you are equipped to actually achieve all that. And also being in this space, I get a sense that it's a space where you can actually become whatever that you want to become, because it's a space where there's no like too many connects until you get to, you know, the people high up there. It's like it's a pyramid, but it's kind of like built like a ladder, you know, where it's easy for you to kind of like climb up.
I love that. You know how I actually like look at it?
Yeah.
They call it the butterfly effect. So they have this like, you know, thing of if a butterfly is in Japan and it's gonna flap its wings, can it cost like a typhoon in Nigeria? What that means is that like it's always the seemingly unrelated small steps that are always gonna connect the like dots for you. Yep. You just don't see it. There's just that, so yeah, that's how I would.
In the name of not eating alone, dog. You know? In the name of not eating alone, let's say there's a kid out there is watching this, they really love what you are doing, or they just heard about the strategy of digital product, and it's a career that you like to explore. How would you advise them to go about that, Jenny? Where should they go? What should they, know?
Okay, so I think, and I know it's gonna sound weird for the 2000s, like, cause I'm sure they get a ton of this, like, things are easier now, guys, but hell yeah, they are, bro. The first step is like, we live in the age of the internet, and what people miss is that the internet is called the internet because it's for internetworking.
I love that.
So there's resources there, man, like that you can go look at for free sometimes. IBM and them have these courses, Google. So what I'm going at is that they don't have to follow the like linear way of following that school trajectory. That stuff is old news. Yeah. You go to primary, then you go to whatever, and then you go to varsity for like 4 years and you come out with outdated knowledge. And I know people are gonna be like, ah! Yeah. It's true, bro. Like, you come out there, we are far away, like ahead of you, because we use fast learning. You diverge and like converge. You learn this today, you go back and say, oh, no, I think it might have changed. In the last 3 hours, it might have changed. But that's the world we like live in now, bro. Like, something looks like this today, tomorrow it's completely like different. So stay curious. Internet work. There's a lot of resources like, on the internet, and then you can find other human beings that can help you, and you can also follow like their journey. And you can also be certified and learn these things, and then, go back and tell someone, hey, I'm certified as a digital marketer. Can I help you?
I learn these things quickly, like in my small confined room with my PC and the internet, where like there are platforms where I can go and For sure. I mean, you have like your Google for Africa, where they have like multiple like courses, and you can take like different tracks. You can do data analytics, you can do UX design, you can do. So it's a matter of, I don't even think it's a question of where exactly am I doing this. I feel like any browser like you're on, bro, whether you're on Google or you're on like Safari, we are gonna end up at the same place. Sure. And I think I almost say these kids. I mean, am I allowed to say that? I mean, yeah, these kids.
These kids, bro.
That's so right.
I'm sorry, yeah, because
make a part of these kids.
Yeah, in a sense, you know what I'm saying. But like, I mean, for the youngins, like, I think
the next generation, bro, they are already on the internet. They are on TikTok. It's just the only difference is that what do you do with your time when you're on the internet? That's what's going to like separate you from the rest of the like other guys. That's why other people are able to like monetize like stuff. They're able to like learn coding. They're able to learn about business, intelligence and all of these like things. So stay curious, stay dangerous, and I mean, use your goddamn brain. Hey, bro, stay curious, stay dangerous. You got it.
You gotta stay there. Dude, like you need to walk in a room and someone is like, who the fuck is this guy? That's it, bro. Yeah, someone has to be like, nah, that man, that's him. Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate you so much doing this with us, because like...
Thank you, man.
I think just chilling here with you for a conversation, I know I've known you for a while, but I feel like I have gotten like an invaluable amount of information for myself, like not just on a professional level, but also on a personal level, And yeah, man, I wish you all the best.
Thank you for like having me, man, and like, you know, all the best to like TMC, bro. Like, you guys are doing the like good Lord's work. Stay at it, stay active, stay dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's it, man.
So if you had to ask for forgiveness from the Lord, what would you ask for forgiveness for having done?
I mean, I would probably ask for forgiveness for having walked in church with a pistol. Not that I've done, but just...
Yeah. I think if I've offended anyone or I hurt them in any shape or form, because I mean, I know that I'm not perfect, and I've had my like fair share of like, you know, challenges. I think, I would just be like, yo, just wipe that slate clean and a good apology to everybody that might have felt away.
Sweet, got it. Perfect. So that was the universe telling us that, guys, you've overstayed your welcome. The lights went off. The cameras are still on because we need to close it for your buffet too. So please, if you enjoyed this, make sure that you tell us what you learned in the comment section. Make sure that you press that like button and the subscribe, because it also helps the algorithm, so that other YouTubers say, this is TMC. Like I said, that the aim is to actually document the world as we are creating it and just giving it to you guys as it already is for the next generation, of course. So make sure that you tell your friends about the Millennials Corner. And until the next one, make sure that you stay dangerous and you stay curious.
Stay curious, man, and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.
Away.
Peace, man.
Man.